So just working on a couple of client projects and I'm making some adjustments to workflows and whatnot. So I figured why not show you a small part of how I layer in marketing to automate the marketing over the course of 1 year. And maybe when you have a look at these, it might jog some ideas for you as far as how it could be laid out on a basic package level. Um, Got two packages, basic and an advanced. The advanced one's way more involved. The basic one sort of has a foundational starting point that just is proven to work, right? So, without getting too confusing and too in depth, point being, this is all set up for my client accounts. You're going to have a look at it. Maybe you'll get some of your own ideas that you can kind of do yourself. I can tell you all this stuff works, and it works very well. So hopefully that's helpful for you. And then I'll also get into the fact that just not a lot of people have time to implement any of this or whatever, or maybe just kind of half-ass things and kind of do something and then leave it for a while and then things slow down and then do something else and then things pick up and marketing takes a back seat and then, oh crap, I better do something because things are down right now. So really wanting to get rid of that ebb and flow, and I'm wanting to get rid of the business owner or manager from having to do one thing and then realize things have slowed down, it's too late, and then they have to go back and do all this marketing and sales stuff. And then so we're looking at automating that stuff, right? So here's some stuff that works, and here's some basic package level stuff that I implement. This is all done for you when somebody comes on board. It is all within the context of being plugged into a converting website. That's important. Some of these stuff, like the marketing and the newsletter sending, for example, which is still, by the way, very relevant in 2025. It's just you have to be so careful with how you do it now. And deliverability is a huge one. So as far as how many people are actually opening emails and stuff, and then kind of layering in SMS. I'll show you how I go in and automate out 1 full year of marketing, basically, to get people back into the system and how to convert leads. This is just a small portion of it. It's by all means not comprehensive. It would take me, to give you an idea of on onboarding this onto an actual website or onto an actual account, it's like we're talking about days of work here, right? So this is the kind of foundational base. So this is a starting point that all accounts come in with. Let's see, let's go from there. All right, so marketing and promotions. I'll focus on these. So there's quote workflows and review and reputation management workflows that build up the Google reviews and reply to them and interact and engage with Google My Business to get your Google My Business visibility up. So that's all included. Website basic communications. There's also an advanced communications package that involves conversational AI. The website basic communications doesn't, so that covers, like, let's click on that and see. These are kind of baseline standard things that work. Filtered, and the word filtered is in front of each one because they are filtered for spam. Every single one of them checks for spam, and if there's spam in there, it deletes and purges the contact from the system, and it doesn't notify the business owner. That is customizable, by the way. So what sort of things would be filtered? SEO would be filtered out, like somebody reaching out and saying, hey, I saw on your website that your SEO is blah, 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 buy my stuff. So that sort of stuff gets filtered out, along with a whole host of other things that I kind of have pulled from all of the accounts that I've worked with over time. What is spam? What is not spam? What are the common spam words that we could get rid of? There's a list. Let's implement it. So all this stuff is implemented based on cross-account things that I learned from working with so many people within the industry. What works very well, what doesn't work at all. Let's get rid of the stuff that doesn't work. Let's take all the stuff that works very well, continue to refine the system, and create a baseline standard of what works very well, and then layer in advanced stuff on top of it to further increase conversions. Okay. So filtered chat widget notifications. So like when somebody interacts with a chat widget on a website, there's lots of options for that. There's workflows involved with that. It's how can we communicate with people that are communicating with us? Filtered system email notifications, website forms, new appointment notifications for those that are website. Appointment-based appointments? That's the word I was looking for. So what's the purpose of this anyways? What's the purpose of it, and what's the pain point here? Where is the disconnect, and what does this fix as far as disconnects? There's pretty big disconnects in the industry between client expectations and business owner expectations. And within the industry, those disconnects are huge, and they're a big deal. Like I often hear people say, "Oh, our demographic is older. Nobody young reaches out for this anymore," which is completely false. And as we get into this, you'll see why these statements are false. Because there's certain expectations that these people have as far as what they're expecting from the business owners over here. So I'm not talking about referrals. I always get a reply from somebody that's more up there in age, that has had their shop for 50 years and has seen all these changes. And I just get, well, good for you. I'm not talking to that particular type of person unless they want to learn something new. I find there's some very, very stubborn, hard-headed people in this industry that are completely unwilling to change. And they're the same ones that are saying that no young people do this, and they have all these hardcore assumptions that are just inherently false. But the assumptions to them are true because it's worked for them for 50 years. Awesome. There's also those that are like completely struggling, that are new. Maybe you're not on a main street. Maybe you're tucked away. Everything in between. So who I'm talking to is the owner that wants to generate business online, because online is where people are looking for services and goods, whether we like it or not. That's how people are now finding your services and products and whatnot. And it's also includes a much younger demographic as well. Expectation. Let's call him Joe. Joe is looking for a shop near him. So Joe is going to jump on Google, look for services. It's in his mind right now. He wants to get it done. Everybody's busy. No one has time for stuff. There's certain ways they skim information, and this is one of them. Joe's looking for a service. Joe jumps on the line, types it into Google, gets a list of Google results. There's two parts to it. There's the website listings and there's the map listings. All the map listings show the stuff that's close, etc., and the reviews and all that. And then there's the organic website listings. Two of them, they work hand in hand. They work together. Point being, Joe's going to jump on there. He's going to contact the first one. The first thing he's going to do, look at the review rating scale, 0 to 5, 4.9, 4.8, 5. He's going to jump in there really quick. If he sees like a 4.8 review one, he's going to jump in there. He's going straight to the negative reviews to see how the business interacted. I'm talking generally, most people, okay? There's always exceptions. Important point of distinction there. So he's going to jump into the Google reviews, look at the lowest one, see if the business has interacted with him, what the business said, and how they handled it. How is this business going to handle me if something goes wrong? How are they going to handle it? Are they going to ignore it? Are they going to address it? How are they going to address it? Okay, so everyone has 5-star reviews these days. So actually, some people consider only 5-star reviews and hundreds of them to be suspicious. There we go. Anyways, so he's going to look in there, look at their star reviews, and then based on that, he's going to jump in there. He's going to do whatever he prefers as far as communicating with that business. Does Joe prefer to communicate on SMS? Yes. Are you giving Joe the option to communicate with you on SMS? No. Very small percentage of Joe is going to actually go in. He's going to go to the next one that has his preferred communication method. Okay, so there's that. A couple of assumptions around that as well. I'll get into in a second here. Hopefully this is all. I'm going to put some takeaways in here. So just bear with me as I go, and there will be some takeaways, and I'll show you some of how I layer in communication automation into this. That'll be helpful. Hopefully, that's the intent. So Joe is going to then, based on that, jump in there on the website. He'll generate a call, SMS, he'll fill out the website form, whatever his preference is. He'll reach out to the business, to your business, okay? So now your business is either going to respond to him immediately or not immediately. If you're not responding to him immediately, he's going to the next business on the list, and you'll see how this all goes hand in hand. He's going to the next business on the list. He's going to outreach to them. that place is either going to answer him right away or not answer him right away. Then he's going to go to the next one. Probably by that point, third or fourth or whatever, he's tired of it, and he'll just kind of wait and sit and see what happens from there. Then he's going to completely move on to other things. Excuse me. So, what are the standards in communicating with Joe as far as Joe's expectation as for communication? What are his expectations for how the business communicates with him? According to Harvard Business School studies, as well as third-party sales organization studies that deal specifically in studying customer research and customer expectations and all this stuff. I can't remember the name of the firm. I'll try and remember and look it up and link it at some point. But anyways, according to all these studies and statistics, Joe expects an email reply. If he emailed the business, he expects an email reply within 1 hour. Okay, and here's where the gaps come in. Here's where the friction occurs. If Joe phone calls or texts the business, his expectation is for the business to get back to him within 5 minutes. Joe's impatient. He's not waiting around. He's going right down to the next listing. Remember that. If it's like a chat widget on the website, like a live chat widget, he wants an instantaneous right now as he waits, and he's not waiting long. He's waiting 20, 30 seconds before he starts getting upset and just leaves the website pissed off. So you see those. Within 1 hour for email, within 5 minutes for phone call replies or SMS replies, and like instantaneous for chat tools, okay? So if that communication bridge is not being met, he's just moving on to the next one. And then basically if he the industry is really bad for getting back to people anyway. So if he's like down to fourth or fifth and he's sent out 4 emails or four texts or whatever, he's just going to sit and move on to other things. And then basically whoever gets back to them first is getting Joe in the door. If Joe hasn't moved on by that point, because as we know, some shops take like a day to reply to emails. Some take 2 days to reply to emails. Some places take several hours to return a call. None of that is within line of what Joe's expecting. So the purpose of these as a baseline standard bridges all those gaps, closes the communication time factor, compresses it. Joe's getting a reply instantaneously from your business, and your business is way more likely to get that to get Joe in the door. Basically, that's the intent of this, right? And it's proven. That's all there is to it. So these workflows, these basic workflows, are basically bridging that communication gap. So they're customized messages that go back out to Joe based on how he's interacting with you. For example, if Joe phones you and you miss the call for whatever reason, you're in the back doing some work, you're with a customer at the desk. If you miss that phone call, it doesn't matter because the system will send Joe back an SMS. It'll send Joe a text message, like right as soon as the call's messed, saying, hey, it's so-and-so from so-and-so a shop. Sorry, missed your call. I saw that you called. What can I help you with? It opens up that conversation. Joe replies, this works. It works all the time. And it's crazy how many calls businesses miss, or if there's a busy signal, or if it goes to, busy signal, or if the call gets dropped. So those are big ones. Remember, it's 5 minutes. It takes a lot of shops like several hours, if they even bother to reply, to return the call at all. This happens automatically. Joe's happy. Probably very few of the competitors have bothered even bridging that time gap. It shows your customer service is dedicated to his satisfaction. He's coming in. Okay, so as long as you're kind and providing the information that Joe's looking for, he'll come in. Let's see. All right, so let's talk about, so that happened with phone systems. So implemented phone systems, text enabling numbers, quote workflows, which can be automated for you. I'm not going to get into that because that's a rabbit hole. I've seen the opinions of business owners versus the expectations of the customer client. Huge gap in expectations there. There's arrogance from a lot of business owners around this, and it's so not in line with what the expectation of the customer is. And I've heard trust me, I've heard all the different, I've heard both sides. I've weighed them myself. The clear winner is the client. The winner is the client. The loser is the business owner. If the business owner isn't willing to do things that the client wants or prospect wants, they're going somewhere else. So I always push quoting ability. And there's a couple different perspectives on this, and I get them, but they're just not in line with reality. And here's why. One of them is, well, of course, it's all customizable. It's custom work. It's all custom work. We know that. There's certain things that I know how to do to package and create a starting point and a range to get to this person, right? The other assumption is that they're all tire kickers. Anyone asking for a quote is absolutely not. They're not all price sensitive. They're not tire kickers. Myself, as a point here, because it's coming straight from me. If I want to go to an automotive shop, for example, and it's because there's something wrong with my car, I'm not going to get in my car and drive down to a shop. I'm going to make a couple calls first. I don't give a hoot what the price is. I just want it done now and by somebody that knows their stuff and that I know I'm not going to have issues with, as far as like having to go back and get stuff corrected, etc. Basically, I want to know what to expect when I go somewhere. Most places haven't had something done, most people haven't had something done like this before. So they want to know what to expect, and that's pretty much it. They want to know if it's within their budget, if it's reasonable, whatever. So we give them a range or a price or some sort of starting point with a disclaimer and some language steering the conversation towards quality and all that other stuff, and to come on in. Most of your competitors aren't even willing to do that. So the ones that I implement quote workflows with are getting that business. That's all there is to it. What are the assumptions here? That they're price sensitive, they're tire kickers? Not the case. They just want to save time and they want to come in and get something done. They don't want to waste their time. They don't want to embarrass themselves for coming in and then finding out something is like out of their price range, even if they have the budget for it, but it's not as high as whatever they selected in the shop. So the other part of it that makes more sense is, well, I don't have time to get back to these people and do all this work up front to have them not come in. Well, let's automate it. The automations work great. That's enabled. I could tell you not all my accounts are using it. There's some great stubbornness around this. There's very strong opinions, very polarizing, this opinion. But I've seen both sides. I've tested it myself. The bottom line is those willing to implement a quoting workflow that can be 99.9% automated do better than the ones that aren't willing to do it. That's pretty much it. Review and reputation management. Google reviews are super hyper important. Look, everybody uses the same language on their websites. Everyone's the best. Nobody says we're second best at what we do in the industry. Every single person uses the same language until I come in and change that up a little bit. So what is that language? Everyone talks about craftsmanship and quality and being the best. Well, people want proof, and proof is who is the highest rated with the most reviews at the highest rate on Google, because that's the standard. That's the gold standard. If you're claiming to be the best at something and your Google reviews give you a 4.5 rating and you have 20 reviews, or a 4.9 rating and you have 20 reviews, and they go in at 3-pack and they see you and your two competitors next to you and you're claiming to be the best, and your competitor has 230 reviews and they have 4.9 stars, guess who's getting that business? So you got to back up all the marketing claims with what you're saying on the website, and the best way to do that is social proof. And the best social proof, aside from direct referrals from friends, is Google reviews. That's pretty much the gold standard right now. That's all there is to it. So why have I gone in and automated this? Because most business owners aren't asking for reviews, or they kind of are weird about asking for reviews, or simply are not comfortable with it, or forget. So let's automate it. So what happens when somebody leaves a Google review? the business owner replies to them or not replies to them. A 1-star review rating comes in out of nowhere because some weird person came in for whatever reason, decided to leave a 1-star Google review. A lot of business owners just simply ignore it. Yeah, we can automate all that stuff away, and knowing that Joe is going to go in and look for the lowest rated ratings first and see how the business interacts. It's super hyper important for you as a business owner to go in and reply and show your customer service skills, and how you handle stuff when stuff goes wrong, because that's what people want to see. They want to know they're going to be taken care of if something goes wrong, not just seeing what the highest rating. Nobody's reading through like 5-star review, 5-star. They'll skim a few, but they're not going to read them all in detail. They're jumping straight to the lowest one. Generally speaking, of course, people are still going to weight everything else. So let's automate the reviews. And then because there's so many reviews coming in at any given time, if you as a business owner don't have time to reply to all those reviews, we can automate the reply process so that every single review that's been left gets a reply. Why? Because that shows Google algorithms that you're engaged with your customer base and you're engaged in communicating with them. And in turn, along with other factors, gets you better ranking. So we designed this to get your Google rating and your Google ranking and your Google placement up and keep it there for good ahead of your competitors. So low-hanging fruit. This thing works and it snowballs and it momentums over time and it gets your placements up. And because it's constantly in a process of building up your review base, you're always on top of it and you never have to think about it. That's why we do that. So what else we have? Phone SMS systems, won't get into that. So we implement SMS capability along with automations into the back end. You maybe not like SMS at all. Your customers do, or your people that are looking for what you do care about SMS, and it's low-hanging fruit. Very few are actually doing it yet, which is a surprise. So we just automate that and give it as an option, and that's all implemented for you. Marketing and promotions. Let's have a look at this. Basic 1-year sequence, client care and return workflow, holiday time promotions, and promotional sign-ups. Say what it is. This is where we get in the meat. Maybe you could get some takeaways here. This is all built into the back end of all websites that I do because it works. I used to just do the framework for this, but now, and this may change and will likely change based on my workload, is because I'm limiting clients so much now. It's 2 per month, by the way. So because I'm doing that, I can implement this as done for you. What I used to provide was the framework and the skeleton, but I found that people aren't going and filling out everything. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just do it because it works. So let me include that. That may change. So let's see, basic 1-year sequence. Okay, so what are they, first of all? Okay, so what is a basic 1-year sequence? It just keeps your business top of mind without pestering people over the course of a year. Client care and return workflow. What is that? What happens after somebody purchases? Most people that come in purchase something and then they leave. They never hear from you again, and you moved on to other things. And the assumption, well, they're just coming. This is really good stuff here. I'll click on that in a sec. Holiday time promotions, basic holiday stuff. And by promotion, it doesn't have to be a sale or a discount because those suck. It could just be ideas, how to use the stuff, how to clean, how to clean, the packages, how to care for it, post purchase care, basically. Oh, sorry, we're in holiday time promotions. I just got ahead of myself there. It's confused the two, client care and return workflow. Well, we'll get in these in a sec. Holiday time promotions. So what are the basic things like January, start the year fresh, Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and then after that, return to school, Black Friday. And again, these don't have to be promotions, don't have to mean discounts. They can mean just ideas, right? Because, not everyone has the pricing structure to, if you don't have the pricing structure to be able to discount, don't discount. That's all there is to it. So promotional sign up. So what happens? Okay, so let's start with the promotional sign up. So this is a big one. So on a lot of websites, what you'll see in the bottom, tucked away in the footer, is sign up to our newsletter with a name box and an email box, or sometimes just an email box. So sign up to our newsletter. Nobody's signing up to your newsletter. Your statistics will show you that barely anybody is signing up to your newsletter. Why? Because you're simply asking them to sign up to your newsletter. And I see it all the time. Sign up. Sign up for what? Why should, especially now in 2025, with all the junk we get in our inbox, why should somebody sign up for your newsletter? Nobody's signing up for a newsletter. Nobody. So there has to be a reason, obviously, for people to sign up for it. I go into that. It's business specific, so I won't do that. But some businesses, I just talked about promotions and how they're not always discount, not always a good idea, etc. The obvious one would be like, all right, sign up to get something. So sign up to get a 10% off your first order, whatever. Sign up and get $50 to apply towards your first order of $200 or more, for example. Let's take the dollar amounts. There's all sorts of other stuff that work quite well to get people to sign up. But that's a collaborative thing and it's business specific. So beyond like the obvious dollar amount thing, I won't get into that too much. So not just buried away in your newsletter, but a pop-up after they've been on a certain time, or better yet, when they go to exit your website, like an exit intent pop-up, having it pop up. Everyone hates pop-ups, but it's an exit intent, meaning they're leaving your site anyways. Pop up with your little bribe to get them into your newsletter. So that's what I mean by promotional sign-up. It doesn't have to be a dollar amount, but it's a reason in doing business with you, and that is business specific, and that's something we go over in onboarding. So what happens when they sign up for that? It's going to trigger a workflow. It's going to create a CRM opportunity. I'll get into this. Is sales related stuff, and barely any places use a CRM within this industry, or have the wrong idea of what a CRM actually is. And it's prospect sales tracking, essentially customer relationship management. And I can tell you barely anyone's following up with people via a CRM. So what does it do? It creates a CRM opportunity, and this is automated. It emails them, it sends them an SMS related contextually to what they just signed up for. So instant. And then there's all sorts of stuff. Did they reply to the SMS? If yes, if no, these things happen. All sorts of things that happen there. This is all customized. I'm not going to get into that, but that's kind of what happens after promotional sign up, after they sign up for promotion. So what happens after this workflow ends and they haven't come in? Well, then they get kicked into a 1 year long sequence of things being sent to them. And what is that? So it's a sequence of, and it's every 2 weeks. So you can see here, it sends them out an email, it waits 2 weeks, email waits 2 weeks, email waits 2 weeks. So it's every 2 weeks. 2 weeks is sort of the sweet spot, and there's some apprehension or from some business owners around not sending enough, or they're too shy to not want to bother people or pester them, versus not sending enough to be ineffective. And 2 weeks for the industry is a sweet spot because you're not pestering them. It's relevant email and it's stuff they're finding interesting, such as ideas and educational content. It's not promotional heavy. That initial hit is promotional, and then after that, it goes into a drip of ideas and ideas and what's the word I'm looking for? Ideas and I forget the word. But anyway, so it does that every 2 weeks. 26 total sends over a year. So roughly once every 2 weeks is when it sends. And that's all laid out and mapped as a customer journey. And then we layer in the holiday time promotions on top of that. So these layer in are effective. They wait for that holiday time to arrive. January, New Year, fresh start. These are the messaging that goes into one of these, to each one of these, is customized to your business, is what it is. So February, Valentine's gift framing. May, Mother's Day gifts. June, Father's Day. Frame is glory days. Just an idea. Like August, summer vacation memories. September, back to school. So like, dorm stuff, certificates, all that sort of stuff. Black Friday, early access, and Black Friday does not have to be dollar promotional. It can be other things like we're already giving you this. Anyway, lots of ideas there, business specific, so I won't get into anything there. December. So that's two things that you can implement as far as workflows for whatever software you're using if you have the time. This is all done for you and packaged in. So we layer in holiday time promotions along with the educational value packed content that's specific. So that's how those three layer in, and then client care and return workflow. So let's talk about this one for picture framing specifically. Then there's other ones that are industry specific, such as like art galleries and whatnot. So let's do this just specifically for framing, for example, to give you an idea, an example. So when they come in and they purchase something and they leave, they obviously then wait for it to get completed, in which case they then come in most cases, pick it up, or sometimes in some cases it's shipped to them. So they come in, pick it up, they go do some more errands, they get home, they unpackage it, they love it, they hang it on the wall. If it, in the case of like a framed print or something, or a framed piece of artwork that they've had framed in context to frame shop specifically, or art galleries for that matter, that sort of thing. So, there's a trigger, and then it waits like a day or two, depending on exactly what it is, or it could wait a few days, or there could be a 7-step wait if it's something that's been shipped, giving time for it to get delivered and everything. And then, like a simple thank you email, and like how high to hang your picture and display it like a pro. It drives me mental when I see somebody hanging a piece of artwork and it's right tucked up against the roof. So it's like, what's an idea? I help people hang the stuff because they have no idea. Most people hang their stuff too high. So, why not throw the rule of 57 in there and do an email that's timed to them getting the artwork home that says, hey, here's some ideas on how high to hang it. Here's how to measure your art to get it at eye level in the center. Using the rule of 57, or I personally like the rule of 60, I adjust it. So using the rule of 57, here's how to hang it, and then it waits 3 days, and here's a bunch of framing care tips on how to clean the glass and how to take care of it and clean it, etc. So it keeps them engaged. So it sends those two, waits 2 days, sends a review request email. So by this time, they've gotten your 2 emails like, hey, this company gives a damn on how we continue to care for this thing that we just got. They've told us some ideas on how to hang it and display it. They've given me some tips on how to take care of it and clean it. Some things to watch out for. So again, in the case of framing, don't use ammonia-based cleaners on your museum glass that you got, for example. Framing care tips. Waits 2 days, sends them a review request to leave you a Google review, and there's language in there that says, if you're happy, if you're not entirely happy with it, it gives them an opportunity with the language to reach out to you directly if they're not happy before they leave a Google review, or in this case, they're going to be psyched, and then they're going to leave you a Google review, and then it's going to wait a few more days, and you'll see how this time expands. So there's a very fine balance towards pestering people and making people happy, and you'll kind of see, and it has to do with frequency ascending. So this is designed to immediately after engage with them a few times. Very relevant because they just bought the thing, they got it home, and they're happy, and they've left a review at this point. And you'll see how the wait steps expand out into a longer period of time so as to not drive them nuts. This is a huge challenge for business owners. How much should I send them? How much should I not send them? When will I piss them off? When will I not piss them off? What will keep us top of mind without bothering them? Very finely tuned wait steps here. And these are all very relevant post-purchase. This is important. So thanks. Here's how to do this thing. Here's some tips. Wait 3 days. Here's some framing care tips. Wait 2 boom, hit them with a review request. That's automated. Wait 3 days. Show off your space. Ask for a photo reply or social post. So basically what we're doing here is, they're super psyched with everything. They're happy. They just left you a review. Hey, take a picture of it. Share it with us on our social media page. So get engagement there. Wait 5 days. Referral request. Could take out the referral request. I recommend leaving it in there because it works so well. It's basically, if you know anyone that is, come on, it's a referral request basically. Following best practices is what it is. Waits 5 days. Your framing could inspire others. Share or tag us or feature your new thing on the wall, take a picture of it. So it's basically a secondary request to that one. So share and tag your social, put it on your own social media or whatever. You'll see here where the time starts expending. Now wait a week. So this is prominent for the next one. Wait a week. Email, rule of 57 in sizing artwork. So what we did before was send them one, this is how high to hang your new piece. And then let's drop, as the beginning of a more expanded sequence, the rule of 57 in sizing artwork. So as you could see behind me here, this piece on the wall is sized according to the rule of 57. So how wide is, so there's a sidewall there and a sidewall there. So I measure between those walls and I times 0.57, get a number, and I can take that number and then decrease it by 10 or increase it by 10 inches. It gives you a prime size to fit in a space. Why not easily teach people how to do that? Now they're going to be curious. They're going to go and measure another wall that's perhaps blank, or maybe they have like a tiny little thing on a big wall, which you see all the time. And they're going to like look at that and be like, oh, maybe that's too small for that space. I'm going to go measure that wall according to this rule, the golden ratio, and let's get a proper size piece in here. They're going to start like measuring around different things, and they're going to start coming up with ideas to get new stuff framed to fit the space that wasn't properly fit before. So maybe they had a holiday canvas or something they bought that they want stretched and framed. Getting some ideas on how they can properly size some stuff for their space and maybe get some of those blank walls filled up. So it's going to get, and it's not a sale, it's just how-to stuff, right? It's like how to do this. There's no request saying, hey, come on in and get another piece. It's planting seeds, basically. 10-day gap after that. Framing how to present gifts. Like how, that's one of the things I had in my shop was people like, how do I gift something like this to someone else? Well, here we go. Here's some ideas on gifting ideas to get this stuff. So then it drops to 2 weeks. Hey, did you also know reframe these things? Then it's going to wait another 2 weeks. And then boom, one single return promotion. That's a prime time amount, the amount of elapsed days in there. You've primed them up. Then you're going to drop a promotion in there. And then we go to 1 month. So boom, 1 month. Inspiration ideas. Another month, more inspiration ideas, another month. So basically what we're doing here month to month after that point is it's a 1 month spread. They've already come in before, they're top of mind. You've engaged with them tremendously, provided them with value, given some ideas, taught them how to properly measure stuff. So now we're going to hit them with ideas like maybe they've never heard of Shadowbox stuff before. Maybe they have no idea they could frame a jersey. Maybe they had no idea they can frame like a pair of baby shoes and one of those little silver cup things that some kids, well, at least in my day and age, we got a silver cup. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. Baby shoes, a cup, whatever. Here's Shadowbox ideas. And the next one, this is how we frame other stuff. So this is all customized content, and it goes out for an additional year. And then after that, another email promotion. Very sparse on the email promotions. We're just basically keeping you front of mind. You're periodically following up with them, value stuff that they're interested in. So that's the client care and return workflow based on the year. So I used to kind of provide just a skeleton for this, but now I just do all the content for it. Again, for now, I may get the next client on, do all of the content for them, and then for the next onboarding be like, no, forget it. That's no. But yeah, for the next person that comes in, at the least, this will be included for all the written content in there and all the newsletter sending and whatnot. But the frame is there otherwise. So hopefully that gives you some ideas on how to layer a bunch of different marketing in together like that. Like these, I could set up an automation so that when somebody, for example, the client care and return workflow, I could set it up so that, just to get some ideas out there, like if somebody has replied to this, your framing could inspire others, share social and tag us for a feature. We can auto drop this if they do something here to automate it out to your social media channels as well as a share. So we're also getting social media content in there that can then be pushed to your, like, if they've taken a picture of their artwork, they could push that to the Google review as well. So now it has not only the written review, but now there's an image attached to that of their completed item. So lots of different things. So that's how we layer in that stuff. Hopefully looking at those workflows kind of give you some ideas. This is all done for you, including the content. The content was never included previous, but since it's all built in there anyways, I can guarantee I'll do it for the next one, but I can't guarantee I'll do all the content now. Having an agency come in and do all that content for the course of 1 year based on all that stuff and those workflows, it's going to cost a ton of money. I'm including it in this package for the next one at the least. I promise, like, I'm not just saying that to try and get a sale. It's like, I'll do the content right now, but I might not want to do it for the next one. The skeleton will always be there in the structure anyways. The problem I found is just people don't take the time to sit down and map the whole thing out, whereas I've already done that. And as far as the content, people struggle with the content. Like, I've already got the outline, so I can put the content in for you. That's why. And so that could be tied into Google My Business reviews. That could be tied into the automations. It could be tied into like the social media post planner. There's social media under this marketing tab here. Social media, you could create one post to one thing and distribute that social media post to everything, all with a click of a button. So it includes all that. I'm not going to get into what all this different stuff includes. However, I did kind of want to show you some of the basic workflows around how we layer in the marketing and promotions specifically. The website, I will mention, is super important. Look, we are visual based, focusing on design and aesthetics. And there's a huge disconnect between that and a lot of frame shops that have come on, and ones that I've seen. Like, there's still sites out there that are from the 1980s that have done nothing, and half of the stuff doesn't work. Like one person I was talking to in Florida had a click to upload files with, because they did G-Clay printing along with their picture framing, and you click on that and it doesn't even work. Anyways, very aesthetic driven industry, visually aesthetic driven industry, but there's a huge disconnect between. This is why it's why I include websites in this, because that's sort of the first foundational thing to get all the other stuff working. So I have an outline, standard outline for websites in the industry that have a very specific SEO flow to get the search rankings up, and page structure that helps with that. And it just works. So that's why I typically almost always end up doing the website for the business. I don't have to. There's some websites out there that are very, very well done. In that case, I could take all this stuff and implement it into that and drop it into an existing site. But I can tell you, in most cases, I end up redoing the site because they're not up to conversion baseline standards. So it's all conversion based. As far as a goal, the goal is to drive revenue to the business. And in a lot of cases, the website's just not up to task. If somebody were to come to me and say, implement this on my site, and I looked at the site and decided that it's not up to a baseline standard, I wouldn't take the project up. I'm not, just to be very clear. So that's why I've included a new site within the packages and stuff. So hopefully having a look at those behind the scenes look at how I've structured out the workflow and layered in the marketing and promotions specifically. Hopefully that jogs some ideas at the very least. Hit me up, reply to the email if this is something you're interested in. Today is July 14th. I can't remember what my current onboarding schedule is. I don't have any space left to onboard anyone this month because it's full. August, I think I have one. September, I don't think I have any. I'd have to double check. October, 0. November, 1. December, 2. I take on 2 clients max per month now at this rate. So I'm a best fit for people that are doing $200,000 or more in revenue and want to increase that and convert, get further conversions in new business and get better visibility online and create systems and standards and automations that help free up the business owner's time. I will help very, very, very specific businesses in the $100,000 to $200,000 annual range. It's got to be a very, very good dialed in fit for that. Under 100K, not quite ready. Haven't been through enough pain yet to understand most of this or afford it, quite frankly. So best fit 200K and up annually. Maybe you have multiple staff at this point or are looking to get multiple staff on, but maybe can't quite afford it yet. A lot of this stuff can replace the need to bring new staff. I'm not talking about getting rid of old staff, by the way. I'm talking about making things more efficient in that context. But if you want to hire staff because you're too stretched out all over the place and you're ready but not quite there yet, it may be a good fit for you. Kind of probably in the 100 to 200K range at that point annually. Specific business fit, 200 or more, no problem. We could put all sorts of automations and standards and basically standardizing operations and automating it, a lot of it, especially in relation to lead capture and conversion process. And again, for those under 100K, probably not going to be a good fit. I find that in that range, people just don't have their businesses dialed in quite enough. Maybe I might have something for you, perhaps, but it's kind of space dependent, I think. But yeah, hit me up with a reply if this is something you're interested in and we could discuss in more detail. Or if you want more information, have a look at my site. It's not going to lay out everything there, but the best thing to do is just to create an appointment with me and kind of learn more about your business specifically and kind of see how it fits, if it would be at all. If you need something that I don't do, I'm more than happy to refer you to somewhere that does, etc. So have a good day. Thanks.